9, 8, 7, 6, stand by.
Coming up on Channel 8 News, an update on Call Hall's current status regarding renovations after construction delays. Plus, we'll see how the Manhattan Fire Department prepares their fire hydrants for the current spring season. And later, we'll hear from an expert about the ruling, which will not only pay NCAA athletes like employees, but will pay athletes who played before current rules.
Currently, our weather and temperatures in Manhattan are sitting at those low to mid 60 degrees with some high winds that are around 15 to 16 miles per hour, but it makes it feel like it's 58 degrees. But we'll see later in the show if those temperatures are going to increase or decrease in the weekend.
This is KKSU LD, broadcasting in high definition from Kansas State University, covering Manhattan, Riley County, and the Flint Hills. You're watching Channel 8 News.
Good morning and welcome to Channel 8 News. My name is Avery Johnson. Coming up today, we'll hear about recent road construction taking place on Kimball and Denison. Later, sports will take a closer look at a push for recreational pickleball courts by Manhattan residents. The Call Hall Dairy Bar is set to temporarily close at the end of the semester. Although there is no timeline for the reopening, the Dairy Bar is set to relocate inside the new Global Center for Grain and Food Innovation. With the new Global Center for Grain and Food Innovation currently under construction, the timeline for the dairy plant renovations have been affected. Anthony Fink, the Call Hall Dairy Bar manager, says the best way for the dairy bar to serve the community is with a better dairy plant.
The dairy plant is, 63 years old, using equipment from, times ago that should have been replaced a long time ago. And this is giving us the opportunity to replace those particular pieces of equipment and give us upgraded capacity, upgraded production capacity, things like that.
The renovation not only allows for upgraded production, but also a better space to serve campus and the community.
It also gives us a better space over in the new building to be more centrally located, whereas because we're on the very north edge of campus here, most of the time the on-campus students that we get are going to be Vet Med, College of Ag, maybe some leadership students. Other than that, we don't see a whole lot of the business, engineering, any of that.
However, with the temporary closure of the dairy bar, some student workers are affected.
I think being out of a job and not having that connection will hurt some of us, but with the new facility, I think it's going to attract a lot of alumni and be more beneficial for those new student workers when the new facility is open.
Although Call Hall will not be returning to this original location, there is still potential for the community to see what Call Hall used to be.
We're going to try to turn it into a museum with more of a background of the dairy here on campus, just because we've been around for over 100 years in terms of actual, herd management, and then production of dairy has been on campus since the late 1800s, and then we've been selling products on campus since 1923.
The relocated dairy bar will reopen once the dairy plant is able to produce ice cream, milk, and cheese following the renovation. However, the timeline is unknown. In Manhattan, to bring the community to Call Hall one more time before the closure in May, the Dairy Bar is hosting a Pound a Pint competition this Saturday during the K-State Open House. Competitors will eat a pint of ice cream as quickly as possible, and the first place winners can win some Call Hall merchandise. With Manhattan taking on the challenge of road construction, Kansas State students have noticed the recent pop-up of a new traffic light. Located at the crossroads of Denison and Kimball, a new truss has emerged, causing issues for Wildcats attempting to navigate their way to the south side of the Student Recreational Center.
There's an entrance over there, but it used to. It's really inconvenient if you're trying to go over there or come in through that way. But other than that, not for me. Especially when there was basketball intramurals last semester and that road was fully closed, and then they started working on that road. It just, you couldn't even get on it.
So it's been okay for me. Leaving's kind of crazy because it makes you turn left or whatever, but other than that, then it's okay.
The Aggieville Showdown drew crowds to Morrow Street in Aggieville on Saturday night, putting youth livestock exhibition on full display.
It takes a team, and here we are. Congratulations.
Claire Norris, a senior at Kansas State University, achieved the highest award alongside her heifer, Tater Tot, at Saturday's Aggieville Showdown Cattle Show.
So honestly, since going to K-State, Aggieville is a huge part of the K-State atmosphere, and so it was kind of a goal to want to come down here and show my heifer.
Community members flocked to Aggieville to see the livestock and the excitement of the selection of champions.
As everyone says, they love seeing the fluffy cows. So being able to come out and see those cattle on Morrow Street is truly something that no other show has.
While the show provides youth exhibitors with the opportunity to compete at a high level, Callahan says there is a deeper purpose behind the event in the business district.
But truly our mission is to bridge the gap between urban and rural and educate consumers about the beef industry.
Norris, who exhibited the champion breeding heifer, also understands the show's importance.
Being able to, one, showcase my heifer down here, but also then remembering the reason of, hey, we're down here so all of these people that have never experienced livestock or don't understand where their food comes from, that we were then the ones that got to start that conversation and spark their interests.
From shopping and live music to learning about the agriculture industry, even the cattle at Saturday's Aggieville Showdown were mooing for more.
Jones and his family, they strive cattle shows nationwide. He takes immense pride in every...
In Manhattan, Hannah Whetstone, Channel 8 News.
For a full list of winners, visit AggievilleShowdown.com. The Manhattan Fire Department is currently performing its annual hydrant maintenance throughout the city. This work not only ensures that hydrants are functioning correctly, but also keeps the community safe in case of an emergency. Channel 8 reporter Grant Snowden has more.
Each spring, firefighters begin the process of testing and maintaining fire hydrants across Manhattan, a routine that plays a big role in public safety. Student firefighter Carter Cow says hydrants sit unused most of the year, which can cause problems if not maintained.
Up in there, but over time, if you don't flush those hydrants and you get a bunch of debris in there, it can ruin the pump on your fire truck, and that's an expensive fix.
Assistant Fire Chief Mike Cow says the process is also about gathering accurate water flow data for emergencies.
We want that precise data on how much water each hydrant puts out. It's also good for us to go through and flush those lines so that if there's anything in the line, we can get it out before it hits our fire pumps.
The city began flowing hydrants last week using a returning seasonal employee who is also a Kansas State student.
It kind of depends on where the water department wants us to kind of focus our start and our route. You know, they might be in the northwest part of town, or if there's low water in the tower there, they might go over to the southeast part of town. So it's kind of dependent week to week, sometimes day by day, on where they want us to flow.
Some residents may notice discolored tap water, but Cow says that's normal and an easy fix.
If there's discolored water, it's not the biggest deal. It's probably fine, but if you just run the sinks, let clean water.
Hydrant maintenance will continue through early summer, and residents can stay updated through the city's website or social media. From Manhattan, Grant Snowden, Channel 8 News.
The fire department encourages residents to stay clear of active maintenance zones and to be patient as crews work their way through each neighborhood. You can find a map of the maintenance schedule on the city's website. Millions of people each year are affected by natural disasters. However, one K-State professor is working to make sure students feel prepared. Geography professor Bimal Paul was selected for the 2024 American Association for the Advancement of Science Fellows for his work in natural disasters and how they relate to public health. Originally from Bangladesh, Dr. Paul came to K-State in 1990 and devoted his career to educating students on disasters and health, as well as how they relate to not only geography, but all areas of study. His recognition into the AAAS is a celebratory end to Paul's career.
Through my books, students at K-State known the understanding, better understanding about disaster, natural disaster.
Coming up next, from the play on the courts to arguments in court about paying college athletes. We will be joined by a sports writer to discuss a potential $2.8 billion settlement that could change the way colleges pay athletes. Stay with us.
You ready?
If you can keep up.
Can you do this? Yeah, let's do it. I got a job interview today. Here we go. Congratulations.
Thank you. Dad, come on. Starting.
This is a special place, Manhappiness.
This is a phenomenal institution,
phenomenal athletic program with a proud tradition.
They talk about family, and you can feel how genuine it is.
The community here is so strong. It's truly like the best thing in the world.
No matter where you come from, the color of your skin, or your religious background, together we make a family.
And when you love people, it's amazing what you can accomplish.
To the 5, to the goal line, touchdown! Touchdown, Kansas inside for the 10! Sheldon is roofed by Carter. Gregory, step back three, takes the shot from distance and scores! It is stank, it is gone, it's a
great weekend we had, homecoming, great crowd. The crowd was phenomenal.
It's a great day to be a Wildcat!
A major change could be coming to college sports. Find out how a $2.8 billion settlement might let schools pay athletes directly. Grant Snowden is joined by Tim Fitzgerald to shed some light on the recent changes. Grant?
Thanks, Avery. And Tim, thanks for joining me today. Kind of just to start us off, how do you feel about schools being able to pay athletes directly?
Well, this is such a mess that has been set off by, court decisions and the NCAA's own inaction, but we're in the world now where athletes get paid. Now we just need some regulation to go with it, which the NCAA's passed on.
Yeah, and then how do you think this law might change, roster sizes, people losing scholarships, kind of things like that?
And the strangest thing to come out of this was a ruling that you can't limit scholarship numbers, which is odd to me. You can limit engineering scholarships, but apparently not athletics. So the NCAA's remedy to that is limit scholarships through roster size. So now you've got a roster cap, not a scholarship cap, but if you can't have them on, why would you have a scholarship? So that's their remedy, but going immediately to 105, which is the proposal, is awful brutal for a lot of student athletes who will just lose their spot, and I don't think that's what the court really wants to do.
Yeah, and kind of building off that, how do you think the school should go about deciding who gets paid and how much those players do get paid?
Well, I'm kind of hardliner on this. It's revenue sharing, and I think football players will get the majority of this, and men's basketball players followed by women's basketball players based on revenue generated. So yeah, I think everyone deserves something, but clearly, like NIL is function, it's going to really go to the people that are generating the revenue.
Yeah, and also kind of building off that NIL ruling, how do you feel like the deal being over $600 is too strict, or is it fair?
No, I think it's fair. One of the disconnects here was, if you leave a gray area, coaches will drive a bus through it. And name, image, and likeness is supposed to be getting paid to lend your name, image, or likeness, not just to get paid to show up at a school and play. That's still against NCAA rules, but they haven't been able to regulate it. This process would allow that, but man, it's a confusing process, and I don't know how equitable it'll be across the board.
Yeah. And to kind of quickly wrap us up, do you think these some smaller schools could be kicked out of D1 just because they can't keep up with the big brands?
I think we might be looking at a third division of D1. We have the FBS and FCS, and I think there's going to be something parked in between that honestly a K-State might fall in, because this is a financial stress for a lot of institutions.
Yeah. Well, Fitz, thank you so much for joining us today. Avery, back to you.
Thanks, Grant. Coming up next, Addy Field is back and we'll have your full weather forecast. Plus, we'll take a look at how storm water is impacting the linear trail here in Manhattan. That's next.
As college athletics continues to change, one thing has stayed the same:
the loyalty and support of our K-State family.
But now, there's a new way you can show your support.
You can now help student athletes like me get compensated for our name, image, and likeness.
Whether it is contributing to our official NIL collectives
or requesting autographs and more through the Open Doors Marketplace,
you are helping K-State student athletes succeed by connecting with you.
So what are you waiting for?
Come transform the K-State student athlete brand today.
This is a special place, Manhappiness.
This is a phenomenal institution, a phenomenal athletic program with a proud tradition.
They talk about family, and you can feel how genuine it is.
The community here is so strong. It's truly like the best in the world.
No matter where you come from, the color of your skin, or your religious background, together we make a family.
And when you love people, it's amazing what you can accomplish.
Together, we represent a diverse and eclectic population.
Together, we believe that diversity, inclusion, and sportsmanship are expectations.
Together, we promote a welcoming and positive environment for all student athletes, coaches, and visitors.
Together, we treat all people with respect and dignity.
No matter their color, creed, gender, ethnicity, or sexual identity.
Together, we are an empowered family. Your empowered family.
Family, diverse and together.
Stronger together.
Championship on the line. Good! It's good!
Manhattan has almost 50 miles of walking trails, but each spring, stormwater forces many low-lying paths to close. Addie Field has more on how stormwater shut down the Lanier Trail.
After the city poured $2 million into Manhattan's trails in response to public demand, many residents now use the paths for exercising, commuting, and recreation. Trail user Rachel Pratt says the paths help her stay active and improve her physical health.
Moving your body is important, and I do Pilates. I'm an instructor, so that's fun, but I need to get outside. The vitamin D is different than the inside.
Many people in Manhattan like to walk on Lanier Trail, but with stormwater issues, it makes it very difficult to use.
Really, the Wildcat Creek, that is what it does. It moves water from one point to the other. So really, we just got to mitigate our uses, our trail uses around that, recreational uses. So we understand that, and we know that's just something that we have to do.
Since the Lanier Trail hasn't moved from where it was built in the 1980s, Wildcat Creek continues to push water onto the path. Heavy rains and fast-moving floodwaters often block trails, but Parks and Rec have continued to repair and improve them because they're essential to the community.
Oh, it's super important. I mean, I think the amount of people who use it just kind of shows how needed and desired it is here. I'm really happy that Manhattan is a very active town. It always feels so I don't know. I think it brings people together to be outside.
While inclement weather forces crews to temporarily close some trails, Manhattan still offers plenty of concrete and natural surface paths for people to use until cleanup is complete. In Manhattan, Addie Field, Channel 8 News.
As the Lanier Trail remains closed, Manhattan's Parks and Recreation recommends Annenberg Trail as an alternative for walking. Now, let's turn it over to Addie Field for a weather update. Addie?
Thanks, Avery. So we'll take a look at the national temperatures here across the country. We can see that the low is in the mid-60s with some partially sunny, partially cloudy skies that are coming down into the south with those higher temperatures with the low 80s to mid-80s. And then we see over on the west coast, we got those mid-70s to low 80s, sunny skies all around that are bringing a warm front into Kansas around those mid-70-degree temperatures with some really high winds all around. But looking further into Kansas, we can see some low to high 70s all around across the state. On the east, we see low 70s. In the south, we see some high 70s. And then again on the west coast, we see low 70s. But all around in the mid of Kansas and in Riley County, we're seeing some mid to high 70s all around. Looking at our 24-hour agenda, though, sunny skies all throughout the day and into tomorrow with some low 70s, mid 60s later tonight, and then a cold front really coming in tonight and into Friday morning as well with those mid 40s. And then looking at the 5-day forecast, we can see again some low 70s today, drop a little bit down onto Friday with some high 60s. But really Saturday and Sunday, we're seeing some really warm weather with high 70s, high 80s even. Sunny skies, but get some clouds later into the end of the week and into Monday. But with Monday, it comes back down with some high 60s. So we'll see those 80 degrees decrease, but warm weather is all around. That's all for weather. Back to you, Avery.
Coming up next, K-State athletes are making moves in the transfer portal, and one Wildcat golfer made history at Augusta National. Plus, pickleball is taking over Manhattan, but do we have enough courts to keep up? That's next.
As college athletics continues to change, one thing has stayed the same.
The loyalty and support of our K-State family.
But now, there's a new way you can show your support.
You can now help student athletes like me get compensated for our name, image, and likeness.
Whether it is contributing to our official NIL collectives
Or requesting autographs and more through the Open Doors Marketplace.
You are helping K-State student athletes succeed by connecting with you.
So what are you waiting for?
Come transform the K-State student athlete brand today.
Jones unloads a bases clearing triple.
2-2, Colts strike three in the outside corner. Another strikeout for Buss on a high fastball.
K-State has done it again. Got him swinging. K-State wins the series.
So within industrial engineering, you can actually start your master's degree a year early and start taking those classes your senior year. And then after you go through those upper level courses, you only really have a year left and you would come out with your bachelor's and master's degree, which is something I have been considering just because, you know, it's one extra year and I do love K-State. So it's like, you know, win-win. But that's a perk with being an industrial engineer. You're able to get your master's degree in just one extra year.
Championship on the line.
Good. It's good.
Now, let's check in with Toby for the latest sports updates. Toby?
Thanks, Avery. Pickleball participation has tripled in the last 3 years, and its growth shows no signs of slowing down. This spring, players young and old are hitting the courts, but does Manhattan have enough outdoor space to keep up? Lauren Betts has more.
Pickleball is all the rage these days. However, people in Manhattan have resorted to playing on the tennis courts at City Park. So we head over to the only pickleball courts in town. These courts have different boundary lines and different net heights. However, these courts are not exactly at the liberty of the public, and many are still unaware that they even exist.
I actually have never played outside here in Manhattan because I didn't know that there was any outdoor courts. And these courts right here at this school are kind of hard to find, so I didn't know about them before today. And I really wish that I could play in City Park, but their tennis courts do not have pickleball lines marked.
The popularity of pickleball is starting to grow. So I think, you know, there is a demand for these kind of courts. I think there is a popularity spike in Manhattan.
I think it would be good to play outside sometimes and not just play at the rec center when I want to get out with the boys. So yeah, a court at the City Park would be very helpful, just not for me, but like for the community, because I know there's a lot of people that love to play pickleball, and especially for the older crowd that can't get into the rec center, that'd be a good place for them to play too.
Despite desire expressed by the community, the city of Manhattan currently has no active plans for additional outdoor pickleball courts. In Manhattan, Lauren Betts, Channel 8 News.
If you're interested in checking it out for yourself, Manhattan's pickleball court is located at the corner of 9th and Pierre Street and is open to public use after school hours. After saying farewell to seniors in the Sweet 16, Kansas State women's basketball has even more holes to fill after a handful of players entered the transfer portal. As of now, Amani Lester, Gisela Sanchez, Briley Glenn, Finley Onstead, Ziana Walker, and Eliza Moffin have all entered the portal. And it's not just the women's team having to rebuild, as the men's team has a pair in the portal with Michaela Rich and Brendan Hassan, who are now looking for a new home.
It's been a joy to coach him and to have them call me coach. This year, we've learned that one of the definitions for coach is a vehicle that takes people from one place to the next.
Almost every golfer dreams of playing at Augusta National during Masters Week. On Saturday, those dreams became a reality for Kansas State's Carla Bernat. A star senior for the Wildcats, Bernat became the first player to shoot 60s in all 3 rounds of the Augusta National Women's Amateur, becoming the lowest-scoring champion in event history.
It's hard to describe with words, but I was just so happy and relieved that I made the putt because I saw on the scoreboard there was one girl that it was just one shot behind me. So I was like, you need to make these. I cannot process that I won yet, so, I mean, it's really nice to see that after a cold winter that we had and hard days going to the golf course and showing up, it means everything to win this tournament.
That's all the time we have for sports. Back to you, Avery.
Temperatures cooling off tonight with a mild day ahead tomorrow. We'll have it all for you in your complete weekend forecast coming up next.
In a time of evolution, it is our time to elevate and carve our place atop in a new era. An era where championship expectations collide with championship support. We all must come together, fighting, ever fighting for the purple and the white. Times may change, but generation after generation, the support of K-Staters never wavers. K-State fans, are you ready to be a part of powering K-State athletic excellence in a new era?
This is a special place, man happiness.
This is a phenomenal institution, a phenomenal athletic program with a proud tradition.
They talk about family, and you can feel how genuine it is.
The community here is so strong. It's truly like the best in the world.
No matter where you come from, the color of your skin, or your religious background, together we make a family.
And when you love people, it's amazing what you can accomplish.
So the first third of the runway.
Deviation left of course approved. Bobcat 1-2, proceed when able.
Championship on the line. Good! It's good!
Now, let's check in with Addie for a look at the weather heading into the weekend.
Thanks, Avery. So as we can see with the weekend, tomorrow we have some high 60s, going into high 70s and high 80s on Saturday and Sunday. So really warm temperatures all throughout. We get a little bit coolers into the night, but that's not a problem at all. The warm skies and sunny skies will bring in some good weather for the weekend. So I recommend taking a walk outside, or anything outside for that matter is going to be really nice over the weekend. I know I'll be enjoying the nice weather. That's all we have for weather for today. Back to you, Avery.
That's all for today on Channel 8 News. We'll see you back here next Thursday. You can follow us on Instagram or X at Channel 8 News. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Have a great day.
This is Channel 8 News.